In this video, we're just going to talk about how to install the electronic pulsator. There's a single electronic pulsator and a double electronic pulsator. Some tools you will need or may need are a Phillips head screwdriver, crimp pliers, wire cutters, a 1/2-inch drill bit, impact drill, and needle nose pliers. Make sure the machine is off and unplugged. Locate the cover to the motor. It is held on by 4 screws. Use the Phillips head screwdriver to remove the 4 screws to remove the cover. Locate the core grip on the side of the motor. It has the power cord going through it. Loosen it so that the power cord will go through it easily. Move the cover so that it is out of the way. You can remove the muffler if it makes it easier. Inside the box, there are 2 running capacitors. You're going to drill a 1/2-inch hole through the box between the 2 running capacitors. You're going to make a cord grip just like the one on the other side of the box. Move the capacitors out the way. Take the drill with the 1/2-inch drill bit and drill a hole in the center of the box. Be sure not to hit any wires. Next, we will install the core grip into the hole. The core grip consists of several parts: the sealing nut, the main body, which has the seal ring in it, a washer, and the locking nut. Take the main body and twist the threaded end into the 1/2-inch hole. Take the washer and place it over the threaded end of the main body inside the box. Take the locking nut and twist it onto the threaded end of the main body inside of the box. Take the sealing nut and insert the wires from the electronic pulsator box through it. The threads should be facing away from the wires. Insert the wires from the electronic pulsator box through the main body of the core grip. If you need to cut back the black protectant from over the wires or expose the copper wires a little more, use your wire cutters to do so. The 2 wires from the electronic pulsator box will go into 2 of the slots in the switch of the motor. 2 of the slots have wires coming from the 2 capacitors and the wires from the motor going into them. And then the other 2 slots have the 2 wires coming from the power cord. The 2 wires coming from the electronic pulsator box will go into the 2 slots along with the 2 capacitors and the wires coming from the motor, not the slots with the power cord. Loosen the screw in the slot that has the capacitor wires coming into it with the screwdriver. Loosen the screw just enough so that the wires come out, but the screw stays in. Take the original 2 wires that was already in the slot and one of the wires from the electronic pulsator box and screw them into the slot. Turn the cover and do the same thing to the slot with the 2 wires coming from the motor into the slot. Loosen the worm clamp on the box for the electronic pulsator and wrap it around the bar on the machine. Assemble the machine according to the assembly instructions. Leave the cover open on the motor. Twist the pulsator adapter onto the electronic pulsator. Once it is twisted on, Set it down onto the nozzle on the frame of the machine. There are 2 additional wires coming from the electronic pulsator box and a wire coming from each pulsator. Connect the wire from the pulsator to a wire from the pulsator electric box. These electronic pulsators can be adjusted for cows, goats, or sheep. In order to do so, open the pulsator using your Phillips head screwdriver. Remove the screw with a small washer. Remove the motherboard from the holder. On the motherboard, you will notice a red square with 3 white switches. For cows, all 3 switches will be in the down position. If you are milking goats, the number 3 switch will be up, while the number 1 and number 2 switch will be down. If you're milking sheep, the number 1 switch will be down, the number 2 switch will be up, and the number 3 switch will be down. After you have the correct settings for whichever animal you're milking, place the motherboard back into the holder in the electric pulsator. Place the top of the pulsator back onto it and screw it down with the screw and washer. If you have a machine with 2 milking clusters, put a plug up on one of the clusters to stop the vacuum to it. Keep one of the clusters open. Push the plug down into the claw. Find something that will plug 3 other liners on the claw. If you have extra liner plugs, you could use those to plug 3 other liners. You could also use an extra set of hands. Just make sure that it's not something small enough that can be sucked into the liner. Turn on the machine and then place your thumb in the liner that is open. Adjust the vacuum with the regulator so that the gauge reads the correct pressure for the animal that you are milking. Each squeeze you feel on your thumb is 1 pulsation. You should feel 60 pulsations per minute for cows, 90 pulsations per minute for goats, and 120 pulsations per minute for sheep. The electronic pulsators have a stimulation button on it. When you press this button, the liners will pulsate faster to massage and stimulate the teats. You can now close the cover on the motor. Make sure the machine is turned off and unplugged. Put the capacitors back into the box. Put the core of the box to the electronic pulsator through the cord grip, just so that the cut piece of the black part of the cord is at the opening inside the box. Grab the sealing nut and twist it onto the main body. Do the same to the power cord for the motor. Place the cover back over the box and screw it down with the 4 screws using your Phillips head screwdriver. You are now ready to use your machine with the electronic pulsator. Thanks for watching.